Well, a very warm welcome to everyone on the call today. I'm delighted to welcome you all back for our second episode of Power of Pause. This week, it's all about you taking a break from your day to relax and unwind, which I know at times in the best of circumstances can be very difficult, but certainly in today's environment, it is critical. It's really important for me personally to look after my own mental health, but I am just as passionate as everyone, friends, family, colleagues, around to look after theirs also. It's really important to be kind to ourselves again during these times and really focus on the good things in life, and we should really focus and celebrate those good things and not be ashamed to either. Today we're joined by Kate. Thank you so much. We're lucky enough to have you now for a second session. We did this for our own employees back in the last lockdown, and we were mightily impressed and wanted to share you with the rest of the world. So after such positive feedback, we're delighted to welcome you back. And I've just wanted to open up the session to our clients and our LinkedIn followers who today join us. I'm going to hand over to you, Kate. Everyone wants to hear from you, not me. So after that brief introduction, be sure to enjoy this week's Relax and Unwind. I'm told that next week is going to be a little bit more up-tempo, so sit back and enjoy. Over to you, Kate.
Thanks, Chris. Welcome, everybody. It is so nice to be here today. We have a short session, so we've got 30 minutes, and I really hope to make the most of it. Just want to say thanks to Chris and Maeve and Compass Group for hosting me and for having me back. I am the founder of a company called Workplace Wellness, and we're all about wellness in the workplace. And really, for me, just like what Chris said, self-care and remembering to come back to that again and again so that we can bring the best of ourselves out into the world. So today, I want you to know that you can completely relax, that there's really nothing that you have to do. You might just listen to the sound of my voice and also give yourself permission to let go. That's an important piece of this work, to give yourself the permission to let go and to just try some of these things that we'll do together and see how it goes. So a couple of things you might want to do, or I would encourage you to do, is if you have a space where you can close your door, to close it. If you can resist the urge to check your phone and your emails and multitask, I would recommend that, so that you put your phone on silent, or even better, switch it off, so that you sit back away from the keyboard, away from everything else that might be happening on your screens, and you give yourself this gift of the next 25 minutes to simply be. Easier said than done, I know, but you really will get a lot more from it with that. A few ground rules I would love to say. So firstly, you really are so welcome here, no matter what your experience and no matter what kind of state you're coming to the group from. So some of you might be feeling absolutely frazzled and anxious, and some of us might be feeling really energized and clear today. I know in Dublin it's a nice sunny day, and that usually does help. Other ground rules, as well as maybe turning off the phone and giving yourself this space, would be the chat box that's here. I do very well with your energy coming into me, so your participation is really, really welcome in that chat box, and I'll keep an eye on it. So things like questions, comments, pop in your experience, let me know how you found the things that are going, requests, anything like that. Just keep a flow going from you to me if you can at all. You really are invited to do that, and that will make it a little more engaging, and also let me tailor the talk and the experience today to what you need. I'll give you a little bit of background info, but the structure for today is we're going to do a short settling practice. That'll be short and sweet. We'll have a little conversation, I hope, or a little check-in after that to see how it went, and then we'll do a slightly longer, more relaxing practice. There is a little bit of theory that I want to bring to you, not too much before we dive in, but this is a session to relax and restore. So what we'll be doing, I will hope, or I know, is working with our nervous system, working with our bodies, working with our awareness, and trying to facilitate a place where you get to let go, where you get to relax, where we get to actually down-regulate. So the effects, I would hope, for some of us today will be that the heart rate slows a little bit, that the mind becomes a little bit clearer, that we become more embodied, so more feeling into our physical bodies. We can forget sometimes that we even have them. more present, more full. And we do that by working with our senses. So we've got 5, our taste, touch, smell, sound, hearing, whatever else the other ones are. I'm sure you all know the 5 senses at this point. And we use each of those or some of those to create a sense of grounding, anchoring, being in the present moment. When I teach a longer workshop, I'll often dive into, and some of you who've done workshops with me before might remember the AAA approach. So the first A of that being your awareness. Where is your attention going? Is it external, on your external environment, or internal, to the internal landscape of your body? Is it focused on one thing, or are you taking in lots and lots of different things all at the same time? So your awareness is one key part. Another A in that AAA that I tend to use is anchoring. So by anchoring, I want you to picture now like a big heavy anchor from a ship dropping down, 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 down. That is a sensation or an experience that I like to create with any of these practices. And so when I say to anchor, you can pick something like a sense of getting heavy in your physical body, a sense of falling back, maybe a little more in your chair as you anchor down, a sense of maybe working with a sensation like feeling the palm of your hand or noticing the heart as it beats in your chest or something else. So if you're having a day where you're super distracted and you're chaotic and you're all over the place, even in 30 seconds, remembering to direct your awareness to anchor on something. And then the third A, which may or may not be of help to you and which may or may not work for you guys today, I think it's the hardest one, is acceptance. So try not to fight whatever you find. Try not to push it away or wish it was different. So classic example, I come to do a practice like this today and I am feeling frazzled or I am feeling frustrated and I shut my eyes and I think, I wish it wasn't like this, or I should be calmer, or, you know, whatever it is. You will find a sense of spaciousness when you release the resistance. So when you accept whatever your experience is. So for example, I'm frazzled and frustrated. I sit to do work like this and I close my eyes. I find that I'm turbulent. And rather than think it should be different, I wish it was different, I don't like this feeling, I think, hello, this sensation, this feeling is with me. Okay. And in that acknowledgement, in that sense of acceptance, comes a sense of spaciousness. It is from that point that we can move on and possibly transform the feeling, maybe not, it depends. So if any of that resonated, great. Take anything today that works for you. You don't have to remember everything I say. You don't need to know any of this. We're going to dive into the experience now, but it's always nice to have a little bit of background and maybe some food for thought. Questions are welcome. Please do type them in. I've got the chat box open here and you're all super silent, maybe after the practice. The last piece I'm going to say is for our first settling practice, I'm going to teach you one of my favorite self-care techniques. We're going to do it with our eyes closed. So in all of these practices today, I'm going to be cueing close your eyes. Depending on who's here today, there may be some of you that feel very uncomfortable with closing your eyes and coming into stillness. And if that's your case today, instead of closing your eyes, what I'll recommend is lowering your gaze right down, but locking it in, fixing it on one object or one thing. Because if your attention is going out the window, over to the corner of the room, around on different objects, looking at me, looking away, I can guarantee that your mind is also going brrr. So by steadying the gaze or closing the eyes, we start to cultivate that inner sense of stillness and clarity. And it's one little thing along the way that we can do to begin to get present and grounded and clear as best we can. Okay, so there's all the ground rules and the chat out of the way. We're going to do my first little settling practice. This will be 5 minutes or less. I would invite you to sit back a little bit in your chair. If your feet can touch the floor, maybe to plant the 2 feet down and to create just a lovely structure for yourself where you feel comfortable and held. You're going to hear today my favorite little chime that I ring all the time. So you'll hear this at the beginning and the end. At the beginning, it's going to be a cue just to close down your eyes and to come into stillness. And the same at the end. And it can be a really nice practice, mindfulness in 1 minute or less, just to practice really listening to that chime and letting it take you wherever, letting it take your attention at the very least. So getting settled now, last chance to switch off the phone and to back away from the emails. And we're going to just listen now for this first chime as best you can, as it allows you or reminds you to shut down the eyes or to lower your gaze. And the first thing that I want you to do as we sit together here today to give ourselves this lovely bit of time, I really want you to give yourself permission today that everything is welcome, that you are welcome to this experience and that you cannot do this wrong. And allowing yourself now to simply listen to the sound of my voice, to hear the words as they come and as they go. And just playing with that sense of sound now, hearing the words come and then almost dissolve. Maybe even hearing the little spaces between the words, the small silences, and becoming just really aware of the sounds that you can hear as you rest here. So certainly the sound of my voice, but perhaps there's other sounds in the room or the space that you're in today. Perhaps there's sounds of the street or the landscape that's outside. And just asking yourself now, asking your body, well, what's the sound that's the most distant one? What's the furthest away? The faintest hum, sound of the wind blowing through the trees, or a car off far in the distance, or perhaps something that's happening in the house. And then switch your focus and just ask yourself now, well, what's the nearest sound, or the one that's really calling for your attention the most right now? So what is it that you can hear that is calling for your attention and your awareness the most? And then if you can, just go back to that space of letting the sound just come and go, keeping the eyes closed or your gaze just gently lowered, and becoming aware now, if you haven't already, of your physical body as you rest here in the chair, becoming aware of your physical body as you rest and feeling the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. Noticing you're feeling into the body as if you could feel into all of the dark spaces that are unseen, as if you could breathe into or rest into the warm darkness that exists within your body. And the work today is to simply anchor as if you're anchoring down now into your body, to any space or area that you can feel in your body today. To direct the light of your awareness, the light of your attention now deeply down to the very center of your own body, and to keep it there, allowing yourself to welcome whatever you find today. Then we're going to shift through a little 3-point practice, a little 3-point check-in as you rest here. And the question I want you to ask yourself now, when you're ready, is how do I feel physically in this moment? So within the physical self, the physical body as you rest here, is there a sense of energy or maybe tiredness? Do you feel energized or stagnant? Do you feel numb or achy? What are you finding here today? And try to welcome and just allow whatever's here. You don't have to label it as good or bad. It just simply is, and it's probably going to change. Our second point that I really want you to check in with is now I ask you to just notice or check in. How is my mind in this moment? As if you could take like a little screenshot, a little snapshot of time here. And you simply allow yourself to notice or feel, well, how is my mind? Is it chaotic and turbulent? Is it busy and full? Is it clear? Is it foggy? Is it impossible to label? Notice, and if you can, just practice staying with whatever it is that you notice here. And then when you're ready, part 3. I want you to ask yourself, how do I feel emotionally in this moment? Know that your emotions are like the weather, especially the weather here in Ireland, subject to change any second, any minute. So in this moment, how do I feel from an emotional perspective? And practice, if you can, just welcome it, accept it, allow it. It just is. It's not good or bad. Now that you've done those 3 points, as you just rest here, you know how you are physically and mentally and emotionally. And now I want you, this is your work, to choose one word that is going to wrap up how you are just right now, this moment. And the exercise as you rest here is to catch and notice if you reach for fine, grand, good, or okay. I want you to choose a more descriptive word. I want you to really get in there and find what it is, how it is that you are. And trust whatever word comes to you. You can't get this wrong. And now for those of you who like, the invitation is, now that we know how we feel, what is it that we need? This is the basis of self-care. How do I feel? What do I need? So as you rest here, I want you to ask your body or your heart or just yourself, what is it that I need today? And I find sometimes even saying my name can be a lovely, nourishing thing to do. Kate, what is it that you need? You might try that for yourself with your own gentle inner voice. And just allow the opportunity that maybe you get an idea of what you need and maybe you don't. There may be some of us today needing tenderness and care. There might be some of us needing kindness and compassion. There might be some of us needing play or nature. There might be some of us needing space or organization. Just allow yourself to notice and allow whatever comes. And then let it all go. Your only work now is to stay seated, stay with the eyes closed if you can. Allow just an open awareness where you notice the sounds, you notice the sensation in your body, you notice the air around you, you notice anything that you can taste, any lingering taste that might be hanging around your mouth right now. You notice anything that you can smell, so any scent that you can pick up, even the most subtle one from the space that you're in. You imagine the room that's around you, even though your eyes are still closed, just the 4 walls if you're surrounded by walls, and your place here in the room, and your place here in this group of us that have come together today to ground, to relax, to restore. And then listening once more just simply to the sound of my voice, and then listening once more for the sound of the chime, which is going to allow you to very gently and kindly and slowly have a big yawn or a big stretch or a big sigh, some movement. I often really like to warm up my hands like this and then cover my eyes, or sometimes after practice like that, I'll just place my hands on my heart and take a little moment in stillness. There's probably some of you that were absolutely dying to move and get back out of that, and that's perfect. And there may be some that are really happy to just sink back and take a moment. So just allow whatever needs to come to come. And you might even give yourself a well done, because it is not easy to meet ourselves like this. It is not easy to let go of the distractions, the numbing, the things that are external, and move into our internal world. So whether that was beautiful and calming or turbulent and frustrating, just welcome that and welcome yourself as you congratulate yourself on giving it a go. What I would love, really love, is if each person that's here on the call will type in a word for how you feel into the chat box. So Today, I feel really energized. That would be the word that I would type in, but I would really invite you now just to play ball with me and to give me your word with no judgment. It can be crap, it can be frustrated, it can be annoyed, it can be angry. Just pop it in so that I can see the vibe of the group today and we can see what everybody is bringing in. Keep them coming. Just be brave and do it. Don't even think about it. And I'll catch you if you say good or fine or grand. You have to pick another one. So as you do that, I'm going to just explain what we did for anyone who dozed off, or if you needed more of a structure on it. We used sound to orient ourselves and to get grounded. We checked in with the physical body, with the mental body, with the emotional body. And from those spaces, we asked ourselves, how do I feel and what do I need? As a wellness person, as a founder of a wellbeing company, if I can teach anybody anything, it's always that practice. And it's a fluid thing because it is always different. So learning to identify how it is that you're feeling, keep the words coming, and what it is that you're needing is that basis of self-care. You can move from there to start to nurture yourself, to build a relationship with yourself, and to learn to give yourself what it is that you need. Any questions are really welcome too. So we've got at ease, calm, free, I like that word, knackered, thanks for your honesty, relaxed, tired, drained, relaxed, and happy. Just know that the negative is just as welcome as the positive here. So you don't have to airbrush it from me or anybody else in the group today. Busy and not near enough aware of my surroundings. Yeah, amazing that you noticed that, Kira. And if anybody wants to do this work, we have one more little meditation to do, so I'll stop myself talking too much. But if you remember one thing from today, remember that anchoring thing. As simple as putting a hand on your heart and giving yourself a few deep breaths, or feeling your feet really planting on the floor, or taking a second to close your eyes and listen to the sound, just like we did at the start of that meditation. All of these little things can stop us living up in the mind where it's thinking, planning, going. Bring us into the body, into the senses. And in that moment that we arrive into the body and into our senses is our moment of presence. And when we are present, that is where we get clarity. That is where we get creativity. That is where we bring our best to ourselves and to the world. We're no longer numbing, distracting, multitasking, going through days that we don't even remember what we did. So it's such a beautiful practice to do, yes, long meditations like this when you can and when you're supported, but also small little things. Here, you love the idea of being aware of sounds and smells around you. Yeah, and we'll all have our own thing. You know, some people will love the nothingness of just sitting back without my instruction, and others will love the working with scent and or textures, or just simply resting in your heart. There's so many little things to do. So I want to give you a second experience. If you have questions for me, pop them in the box. I'll keep an eye on it. And as I give you that opportunity, what we're going to do is like a little kind of body scan. So this is something that you can use at nighttime if you're tired. You've probably done it before if you've ever done yoga or meditation. And we'll probably just take a moment to come into stillness, to feel from the feet up to the head, to imagine them relaxing. And I would love to leave you today with the idea that you can set an intention to bring with you into your week, into the rest of your day, or even into this brand new year. So we'll do a little bit of work like that. I'll finish up. We'll be done and dusted by half. And if anyone has to go, and then if you have questions, I can stay on a little bit after past if you know you've got burning questions for me. So all of that said, again, just know that you'll be out of this by past. You're going to listen for the first time. And I want you to close your eyes once more. You might find it even easier to come into stillness now, to allow yourself just really drop. Again, just becoming aware of the sounds, the sensations, anything that's calling for your attention in your body. Permission for you, your body, and yourself to relax. And then really directing the awareness now down. And I want you to feel all the way down as far as the soles of your feet, left and right foot. And just notice, well, what's here? What do you feel in the feet? Might be your first time today becoming aware of your feet. Now relax. Relax the left foot and the right foot. Relax the toes and the spaces between your toes. Relax your ankles left and right, and the shins and the calves. And feel up to the backs of your knees, a little hotbed of activity there. What can you feel in the backs of your knees? And imagine now that you could relax through the knees, the kneecaps, the upper thighs, the inner thighs. Take a little moment to feel into the space of your pelvic bowl, between your hip bones, your pubic bone, and your tailbone. Imagine you could find the very center point of your pelvis. And into that space, you drop a beautiful little seed of relaxation. And then feel into the belly, an area we tend to hold stress and worry. You are safe. Allow yourself now to feel safe as you relax the belly, as you create even more space in that zone. And as the belly relaxes now, you can work up a little bit more to the upper chest, to the center of your chest cavity. Imagine you can relax from the inside out. And bring it all the way up now to the center of your throat. And as you open and relax the center of your throat, feel your full body relax in response. And then up now to the roof of your mouth and the sides of your jaw, the teeth, the tongue, the lips, your nose, your cheeks, the backs of your eyes relaxing. Your forehead, not holding any stress, tension, or worry. It is soft and still. Crown of your head, the back of your neck, the entire back body, from the neck to the tailbone. Across your collarbones, down through your shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, and now the tips of your fingers. Feel into the aliveness that exists within the palms of your hands. Notice what you can feel. Maybe you can feel the air, your skin tingling. Now feel into your heart as it beats in your chest. What a gift. Practice staying with your heart. Practice staying with that beating of your heart. And from this space, if you like, you can ask yourself, how do I want to feel for the rest of today? What energy am I going to leave this call with? What feeling or energy am I inviting into the rest of my week, the rest of my day, maybe even the rest of my year? And that is your intention for today. How you want to feel, how you want to be, how you choose to move through this world after this call. Allowing yourself to let it all go. Remember, you can't have done any of this wrong. Everything is perfect, exactly as it is, even if you just close your eyes and listen to me speak for the last 20 minutes. Allowing yourself now one last time to listen for the sound of the chime. And the invitation for you now is to listen right to the very end, to the very last bit you can hear, and then the stillness and the quietness, and then move. And if you haven't already, you can again cover your eyes, or put your hand on your heart, or have that big yawn, stretch. Maybe bring the energy of a big smile into the rest of your day. Whatever it is that you need. I know it's just 31 minutes past, so I do want to respect your time. Thank you for joining if you joined. I'll stay if anyone does have questions, so you can type in the chat box. I'm not going to rush off. Thank you so much to Maeve, who's worked really hard to organize this and to bring me back, and to Chris for hosting me, and to anyone who was on the call today. It's been so lovely to be here and to do this work. So just want to say thank you for that, and thank you to all of you for joining. And remember, you can do this kind of thing anytime. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be a big job. Really impactful. Thank you, James. It's really lovely to hear that. You're welcome, Galaxy A2. Nicola. Oh, amazing. You use the counting and breathing exercise. Love that, Nicola. Yeah, that's a really good one. Slowing down the exhale is always going to help with the nervous system. Actually, I was thinking about giving that one out today when I was planning your work. So I'm really happy to hear that. Kira, thank you. chosen a smile for the rest of today. Yeah, I had to remind myself of that today. I was in a bit of a fog yesterday, so I'm feeling much better today and appreciating that I can try and do that. You're welcome, Campbell One or whatever the name is, for the great session. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Yeah, so questions really welcome if you have any, guys, or you can always just get in touch with me directly. It's kate@workplacewellness.ie, or I'm sure Maeve would be happy to pass out my contact details if you need it. Okay. Thank you, Joan. Oh, thank you. I love the smiley faces. Bring this piece now into the rest of your day if you can. That's another thing I might just say, like, move a little slower. If you feel really, sometimes you feel really foggy and a bit out of it because we've just closed our eyes and stepped back. Drink plenty of water. If you can, just get a little bit of fresh air and then movement. So a little movement of the body, a little walk away from your desk, a drink of water, things like that will bring you back. And then my hope would be that when you sit back down at your desk, if that's what you're doing today, or when you go back to your children or wherever it is that you're going next, you will feel a little more clear. And the other nice thing that you might bear in mind if you're still on the call with me is that when we're doing this work, like slowing the breath and coming into the body and creating stillness, we're taking pause, as this whole theme is about, is that you're working to downregulate the nervous system and to slow things down, which actually means that you'll be priming yourself to have a really good sleep tonight. So if you have the luxury of being able to go to bed an hour earlier, or perhaps just leaving your phone away, or doing a nice little cup of tea and bed early for yourself tonight, you should sleep maybe a little bit better, especially if you don't do this kind of stuff all the time. So take advantage of that. Also bear in mind you've got something exciting happening next week for the Power of Pause that Maeve is organising. So do keep an eye on the Compass Group Ireland Instagram and LinkedIn to see what's planned there. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to leave it now, unless Maeve or Chris, you have anything that you want to bring to the group or say to close off. I may have put everybody asleep. Just a thank you from Maeve. Okay, so I guess we're safe to hang up then, unless there's any last little minute things that need to be said. No. Oh, thank you, guys. I'm really happy that you enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure to be here with you today. Love this work. And if you find it hard to do on your own, don't worry, you're not alone. Sometimes the resistance is to just sitting down to do it, and then you do it and you feel great, like any kind of exercise. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. Enjoy the rest of your lunchtime. Hope I'll see you in workshops in future. And yeah, go nice and softly, nice and gently for the rest of January. Thanks, Louise. Thanks, Kira. Thanks, everybody.